There we go.
Are we on? Hi everyone, welcome back to Cooking More with Less. My name is Celina Cordoba and I wanted to make something that I'm preparing for more like than a party of 5. So if you're going to like a baby shower or a christening or a barbecue, or you have something to bring like a dish, like a potluck. I was thinking of creating something within an hour because I never have a lot of time to cook, and this has got to be for about maybe like 15, 20 people. So I was thinking of a dish that's really easy to prepare, that's light, that's healthy, and that everybody might enjoy. So I kind of freak like different things that I really enjoy in different restaurants. So Indian food. Love Indian, love like the whole chana sag, all that good stuff. So today what we're going to do, I'm using regular Goya chickpeas. Nothing organic, nothing out of Trader Joe's because Miami is not cool enough to have a Trader Joe's yet. I think there's one in like Tampa, but that's not affecting me right now, and it sucks out here. But anyway, I'm using, as you can see, all the water spurting. I'm using just regular Goya chickpeas, and I got the big cans. Now what I like to do is I drain all the water out of it, and how we're going to start is we're going to throw 4 huge cans in a boiling pot of water. I boil them down for about 15 minutes just to get them really tender and really soft. And also, when you boil them, you almost take the outer shell of the chickpea. It loosens it. So it's kind of cool because it allows you just to eat the meat, the flesh of the chickpea, which is where all the protein lies and all the good stuff. So I'm making like a fake Indian dish today. I say fake because I don't have roti, and without a roti or like a, what were you thinking? Blup, blup, blup. Thank you. Word up. Blup, 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 blup. Without a roti or without like, you know, real roti bread, it's not Indian food to me. But we're going to freak it as best we can. So we're using 4 large cans of chickpeas. I'm actually going to throw all 5 in. And I'm going to add some Italian parsley, some cilantro, some cucumber and tomato at the end, all of our seasonings, and I'm going to show you how to make something for a larger party. A couple people have written me about like, what do you do for like, you know, large parties, or if you're going to like a dinner party or something. So this is what I would make if I'm going to a potluck or a dinner party. We're going to come back. I'm about to throw this on some flame and put it on a high heat for about, like I said, 15 minutes. But when we come back, we'll see the consistency of the chickpeas, and we'll get all our seasonings like our onions, our garlic, and everything else we're going to need to make this a meal. You can pause it and we'll come back. So this is what it looks like right before it goes on the stove. I'm just soaking all, as you can see, like all the fuzz and foam is coming to the top, releasing the extra gas that we don't need in our bellies. I am going to put this on the stove, and that's how big the pot is. Just to show you don't need like a classy fancy pot. Alright you guys, coming back in a couple minutes. Okay you guys, we're back. We boiled down our chickpeas out of the boiling pot of water, and I showed you how much water I put in there. I also added a light, yay, and now you can see all the details on my walls, but please ignore. I don't want to paint in here because I cook in here. Anyway, so we're going to get back to the recipe. So here go our chickpeas. What we're going to do is we're going to lace both of our pans. We're going to cook the meal in 2 pans. Because I like to brown the onions, and it works better in 2 pans than throwing all the chickpeas in one. So I put a nice amount. I layered my entire pan with olive oil. I've got some good organic olive oil, so I'm going to go ahead and warm that up pretty much on high. And I've already cut up my onions, my yellow onions, and my garlic. I'm not adding too much fresh garlic because not a lot of people love fresh garlic, but it really, really adds and boosts to the flavor of the dish. So the ingredients, the seasonings we're going to use, I always have a theory that even if you're using like non-organic food, if you have really good seasonings, it can boost the flavor of anything, rather than throwing like adobo or something else that's going to totally destroy the flavor and the content of your food. So we're going to go ahead and wait for our oil to heat up, but what I wanted to show you was the seasonings we're going to use. I'm using some garam masala, which is a really nice Indian seasoning. It's got a mixture of everything in it, and it's delicious. We're using our curry powder. We're going to use some turmeric, paprika, onion powder, and garlic. So we're going to go ahead and oil. When this is frying, we're going to throw our seasonings in the oil right away. So we're going to come back and get that started. I'll let you know what it looks like. I'm going to start it when it's nice and sizzly. So if you want to come back in a minute, Aseer, you can. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and throw our onions and our garlic in. So as this is simmering down, I'm going to put a little of the fresh garlic in it in a little bit. What I am going to add to that to caramelize our onions is some fresh sugar. Some sugar, a little bag of sugar. Okay, here we go. So we're going to add just a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkles. Not a lot, but it adds to the browning of the onions. So go ahead and start frying those up. Turning the flame back to high. So the onions is a must with the chickpeas. It adds a really nice flavor, and this really works. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some salt in my onions. Get that started up as well. Okay, so what we're doing is we're adding all of our seasonings. I went ahead and sprinkled some curry powder, some turmeric, some onion powder on top of our salt. And Aseer just came out the bathroom, which is bad, because now we can continue. So as you can see, all the seasonings are melting in the onions and the olive oil. And I reduced the flame back down to 2. So what this does is when I throw in the chickpeas, is it allows a quick and easy absorption of all the flavors. And I find that it like picks up on everything really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with a little bit of paprika. And all of this really does make a difference for me. And a little bit of cumin. Nice ample amount of oil in there as well. So I don't throw my live greens in here, my parsley or my cilantro in, until my chickpeas cook down a little bit. So it's ready for the chickpeas. The onions have got a nice char on them. I'm going to make it happen. So we just loosen up and move all our chickpeas around in there. See how nice this turns out. So it's picking up the flavor of all that moisture underneath, creating a nice color. What I'm going to do to make it extra wonderful is add some water to the equation. I forgot I bought one. Loosen up the chickpeas and the onions, and then we can taste what we're creating as well. So I'm going to turn this back on medium and come back in about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. I'm going to let all of this simmer in, and I'm going to get my parsley and my cilantro ready to throw on top. What we're going to also throw on top of this is cucumber and tomato towards the end. That adds our color, and it doesn't allow the cucumbers to thin. We're going to get our tomatoes ready for part 2. Coming back in a couple minutes. You can put it on pause. Okay, so we just came back. We've been having this cooked for about 10 minutes now, just in all of its juices. The little bit of water was sprinkled on top. I added some olive oil before I covered it, just to make sure it stays moist. And now we're going to add our fresh tomatoes. Cook our tomatoes down in this. I didn't add all the onion because it seemed to be enough. So I just kind of guesstimate and think about how much I would want on my palate. So good already. So we're just building on top. We seasoned everything. We're going to add probably a little splash of sea salt to keep it going. And this is just, again, the curry, turmeric, bringing that nice golden color out. And I have literally like 20 minutes to finish everything as well. So what we're going to add towards the end is the parsley and the cilantro. It gives it a nice flavor. And all the chickpeas, once everything is done, it literally just pops and melts in your mouth. You're not chewing and digesting all this chickpea batter. It literally feels like almost like a hummus wrap. And we're just going to put it in our little organic wraps that we got. I usually get the spelt wraps because I like kind of staying away from the wheat. But because I'm feeding so many people and they're a little expensive, I'm getting, and I got just the plain wheat wraps. And they still work. Because with the nice greens on top popping in, delicious. And you can vary it. You can put a little avocado some days on it, wrap them up, put some fresh greens on top. It's excellent. So again, I'm going to taste it in a couple minutes. We'll come back in 5. Cooking more with less. Okay, you guys, so everything is cooked down. We put our tomatoes in, and we're ready to go. See how golden brown and deliciously yummy looking. It looks so good already. And you see the caramelization, just a little bit that's set at the bottom of the pan. And this isn't even gas stove. So if you're in New York, you are made because, or anywhere on the East Coast where there's gas, you're made. So we can just turn around real quick. That's sitting there. I want to show them our Italian parsley. I like Italian parsley because the leaves are a little softer. So when you're eating it, it's not like, you know, rough on your throat. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up just some fresh Italian parsley as well as our cilantro that's in the back. And as you can see right here are cucumbers that I just cut in half and trimmed along the sides to not have too much fibrous action in your mouth. But just this little fresh parsley gives it such a nice round feel to your bite, and it just rounds out the meal. I'm a fan of seasonings, so even though a lot of people don't like cilantro, it really adds a nice Mediterranean, Spanish, full flavor.
I like that Spanish.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And you need fresh herbs. Instead of always putting lettuce and iceberg in your food,
Just water.
use some fresh watercress, some fresh parsley and cilantro. So what I'm going to do now is just basically parade both of these on top of the meal and cut up some nice cucumber, so when the wrap is made, you have like a nice little crunch that's not too thin. You probably add the cucumber in a couple minutes, or may take it in the Tupperware just so that I keep it fresh, because I don't like them to get too soggy. I like the cucumber to kind of crunch in people's mouth as they eat it. So I'm just showing you how it looks. Everybody's got to get ready to go, and I wanted to share this with you. So we're going to just throw the cilantro and the parsley on top of both dishes and mix that all together. But it creates such a nice flavor and such a nice balance. I'm just going to make sure I don't have any big stalks sticking out. Mix that all down. Throw the cucumber in. It is delicious. So that was chickpeas, onions, garlic. You have a lot of different seasonings: turmeric, curry, cumin, onion powder, garlic powder. But literally, oh my God, it melts in your mouth. And when people eat it, they're like, "These are chickpeas? How long did you soak them?" And I say that's the fast way. You basically boil them in water, in hot water. And I didn't show you, but I just ran my fingers through the chickpeas that they were cooling, and I took out all the shell and the husks of the chickpeas out. So I'm going to go ahead and continue cutting this cilantro down and mix it all down. Again, when it's all finished and done, just to show the finished product, it looks like this. And it's so good. I'm going to go ahead and get ready though, so I want people to see how it would look. But basically, you mix the cilantro and the parsley all throughout the dish, like so.
And can this be done as a wrap? And,
oh yeah,
and,
it's can be done as
a
a wrap. I sometimes throw it over rice,
but you can do
it's just that tender. All the juices are at the bottom. But
so it's a
like
multi-purpose meal.
It's a multi-purpose meal. But if you have, they sell naan in Whole Foods now, like, you know, Indian naan bread. But if you have really good naan bread or any type of wrap that you like, you know, I'm using again just a regular flour tortilla wrap, and just wrap those up for whoever comes over, whoever wants to enjoy some good food. But they're wholesome, it's vegetarian. And a lot of people, camera too, a lot of people have asked me why I don't eat tofu. And specifically, that's a totally different subject, but I want to mention it real quick because it's the reason why I started eating, you know, different types of protein that wasn't tofu or wheat gluten based. Around the age of 29, 30, I was diagnosed with one fibroid. This was right after I conceived my first child. And I thought to myself, I was like, all right, I had, you know, a checkup a couple years ago, and I didn't have any fibroids. So I was wondering what could have caused the fibroids. Did all this research, and I have my own theories, but one of them was just this whole thing of tofu. So I stopped eating it for a while, and I came back to it to discover that it really wasn't sitting well with me. It's something I like because it substitutes the meat for me. I could have like the fake hot dogs and all that, and it's really good. But it wasn't working with me. So I started thinking that that might have been a digestive issue that may have caused some problems. And just doing some research, I decided to chill from it. And then after reading more about soy and just the extra estrogen, and of course fibroids are, you know, produced with a stimulus of estrogen in the body. So again, trying to merge the two together and say, I don't really need this anymore. I'm using it as a substitute for meat, but I don't need it. So again, when it's all said and done, I'm going to cut these cucumbers up a little finer. But come on in here, Shawnee, and show the people how this looks. And I'm going to have you take a bite. But this is, again, chickpeas, tomatoes, salt, cayenne pepper. For the adults, you know, I do use a little jalapeno at times. And I didn't do that today because not a lot of people like too much spice. But I did throw some cayenne in there. Go ahead and take a bite of this, sweetheart. I'm going to switch over because I am never behind. Thank you, Shawnee.
It's good.
Inspired by Richard as well.
Yeah.
But do you see how the crunch of the cucumber adds like a freshness to it and brings out a cleanness?
A nice crisp, kind of cool to
yes.
the hot. A little cool to the hot.
Well, he's eating. I'm going to go. Here we go. Cooking more with less. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of the journey. And thank you for writing me and telling me what you like and what you like to see more of. Again, this is a larger dish. We mixed up. If you want to come in, we mixed up all of the seasonings already. I'm going to go ahead and close this up, get our wraps ready, and call it a day. Thank you. Love you guys, and see you soon. Peace. Click, click.